Some say he doesn't know what dogs are for, and that he recently took out a super injunction to prevent us from revealing that he... with an enormous goat. All we know is he's called the Stig. And he's off. Wipers on. It is drizzling out there. Hopefully that won't hurt the time too badly. Let's see. Coming up to the first corner. Very tidy on the way in. Tidy through the middle. Tail out. There it is. The limited slip diff, though, allowing in perfect control. For some reason, the Stig is listening to Lady Gaga there in French. Very weird. OK, he was tidy through Chicago now, down to Hammerhead. I have a sneaking suspicion BMW have tried to make this car slow, so it doesn't go faster than the more expensive M3. Ooh, look at that tail really out there. Stig looking where he's going out of the side window. OK, follow through. God, he's even sideways through that. BMW only bringing 450 1Ms to Britain, 300 of them already sold. OK, hard on the brakes. Penultimate corner, still very greasy out there. Into Gambon, and there he is, across the line. I have the time here. Yeah. It did it. It did it in 1 minute 25 dead. So even though it was a damp track, it was faster than an M3.
Yeah, very good. But hang on, because I think there was a bit of film there we didn't see.
No, there wasn't.
There was from his final run, and I think the ladies and gentlemen would like to see it.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Now, there he is, you see. He's just past the tyres. He's doing about 115 miles an hour, and, oh, look, it spat him off!
Yes, I know, but even on the wet grass, it's still in shape.
No, that's just how good the Stig is, not the car, you fool. It spat him off. Big price, small car, big price, fell off.
Anyway, we must now find out how fast it goes round our track.
Why?
Because that enables me to say some ludicrous things about our tame racing driver. Some say that he can't eat mashed potato for religious reasons. And that he recently received 47,000 tickets, Olympic tickets, all of them for the final of the women's wrestling. All we know is he's called the Stig. And he's off. A nice controlled start there. And listen to that V12. OK, coming up to the first corner. It's a heavy car, this, but it manages to corner surprisingly flat. Stig listening to the Bangles there, but in German. Very odd. Ooh, a lot of tyre smoke coming out of Chicago. Coming up to Hammerhead, will the big engine up front drag the nose wide? No, it is clinging on. And it is, in fact, yep, it's the back that's letting go first. Very neat on the way out, though. OK, into follow through, really opening up the taps now. You can hear him shift up. Drifting it, actually, into the approach to the tyres. That is impressive. Just 2 corners left now. Hard on those ceramic brakes. Fat Pirelli squealing. Just Gambon left. Sliding it through there and across the line. Interesting time. It did it. It did it in 1:24.4. So it's only half a second slower, look, than the DBS.
Yeah, and it would have been a much better car if it had been 5 seconds slower.
I agree.
Oh, you're insufferable, man. I can't... What are you on about?
Well, tights and stockings are designed to do exactly the same job, but they don't.
I don't know, I only wear socks, Jeremy.
Can we just move on from the hosiery, chaps, back to the car?
Yeah.
Is the ride really that good?
Like a Rolls-Royce. Unbelievably smooth.
And do you know why? wasn't developed at the Nürburgring.
Oh, God, he's off.
True fact. True fact was developed actually at the Top Gear test track. This car was. So it should be able to set a blisteringly fast lap time. Now, of course, to find out, we have to give it to our tame racing driver. Some say that he refuses to acknowledge the existence of Nottinghamshire. And that he recently received a very strong email from his fiancée's mother saying it's bad manners to sit at the dinner table in a helmet. All we know is he's called the Stig. And it's off. MP4-12C may sound like a fax machine, but this car is fast, no doubt about that. Double clutch gearbox shifting seamlessly, going through the first corner. No dramas whatsoever. Stig listening to ABBA in Spanish. Very weird. Almost as weird as the way it takes Chicago. Strangely calm, that. Squirrely underbraking into Hammerhead. Now the meat of the corner. And it's regained its composure completely. McLaren have actually been fiddling with the car since I drove it, so the ones you buy will have a sharper throttle. And more noise. OK, follow through. A chance to really open up the twin-turbo V8. How much is he going to clip the corner? A lot, but he won't have felt a thing. Just 2 corners to go now. Air brake helping out there. Tyres squealing. Only Gambon left. Millimetrically perfect, and there he is across the line. Now, OK. Here is the Ferrari 458 119.1, the Ferrari Enzo 119. The MP4-12C 116.2. It is the second fastest car we've ever had here. Astonishing. Really. It is outstanding. What the GTR is, it is an instrument of speed.
Yes.
An instrument.
I like it. I like it. But what about the Jag? Not so good.
Well, I don't understand what Jaguar were thinking of, because they must have looked at Aston Martin and thought, right, they make a range of, well, nothing but a range of hardcore front-engine GT cars, so we'll do exactly the same.
But you know what the problem is, don't you? Jaguar now have a permanent testing facility at the Nürburgring.
Where they should have a permanent testing facility is between the 2 mini roundabouts in Chipping Norton, where I live, because that is the bumpiest stretch of road in the known universe. And it's been dug up again by that, what's that construction company called that you can't pronounce? Chlamydia. They're not chlamydia. Clancy, whatever it's called.
I know the one you mean.
So it'll just be intolerable in a car like that.
So hang on, let me just get this straight. You're saying that Jaguar should tailor their cars to the Chipping Norton set?
Yes.
Well, what's the point of that? Aren't they all going to be in prison next week?
Thank you, James. Nice to know that my friends can count on you for your support. Now, though, it is time to find how fast the Nissan goes round our track, and that, of course, means handing it over to our tame racing driver. Some say that he once hacked into his own helmet and that he thinks Harper 7 is a convicted terrorist cell. All we know is he's called the Stig. And he's off. Tiny chirp from the back tyres, then a crisp, smooth slingshot up to the first corner like a precise Japanese missile. Turns in, predictably tidy all the way through, and still tidy on the way out. Stig enjoying Rock the Casbah in Algerian there. Wow. Right, another laser-guided line through Chicago. Hammerhead, the one place where the Nissan's four-wheel drive might bring understeer. Not a chance. Tiny drift toward the exit, then through. Cleaner than James's tool bench. Just kisses 7,000 RPM, then up a gear. Fires it into the follow-through. Ballistic through the tyres. 2 corners left. Here we go, getting a bit squirrely and wiggly in there. Back under control now for Gambon. And drifts it through and across the line. OK, now earlier on, thank you, earlier on in the day, He went around in the Jag and he recorded a time of 1:23.3, so it goes there. And that's not bad, look. It's faster than the DBS. In fact, it's faster than any other Aston. However, in the GTR, well, he did it in not 1:23.3, OK? A little bit higher than that. A little bit higher than an R8 V10 or a 599 or a 599 GTO. It's past the old GTR. Still higher, past the Enzo. Higher, higher, higher. There. Unbelievable. 117.8. Last week we had the Lotus T125 down here. It's kind of a Formula One car that you can buy if you have £650,000 lying around. And we wondered how fast it would go round our track, whether it would be faster than an actual Formula One car.
Yeah, sadly, on the day we were going to try for a lap, it was raining. So we said we'd bring it back when it wasn't. We have. And it isn't. Does that make sense?
That was, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's find out how it got on. Away he goes, lighting up the back tyres, a treat. Not quite the sound of an F1 car, it's not quite as high-pitched. That is the sound of torque. Okay, first corner. See the Stig sawing away at the wheel there. It really is an animal, this thing. Right, down the gears, into Chicago. Wrestling it through there. Stig actually demanded a softer chassis setup and softer tyres for today. And will it have enough heat in those tyres to cling on through Hammerhead? Yes, it does. Ooh, bit of a wiggle there. Now we can really open it up through the follow-through. Stationary, this car weighs 640 kilos. Flat out, thanks to the air pressing down on those wings, it weighs 2¼ tons. OK, coming up now to the penultimate corner. Hard on the brakes. A little bit of corrective lock. Crackle on the overon up to Cambon. Stig still working hard and across the line. Now, the actual Formula One car we had down here a few years ago, that did it in 59 seconds. The T125 did it in 1 minute 3.8. So it's about 4 seconds a lap round here, slower than the Renault F1 car, which means it's about the same pace as a current Lotus F1 car. It's beautiful, but it's not. I think he made a mistake. Hammond, well, hang on. Hammond, did you say Helsinki syndrome?
Yes, I did.
You mean Stockholm syndrome?
Yes, I do. Yes. What is Helsinki syndrome, then? Is it?
I think it's when you're a bit of an idiot and you get your syndromes mixed up.
Yeah, I've got it.
Anyway, the Lamborghini, OK, what you're saying is that it would be better if it were a bit worse.
No, it's exactly like that McLaren MP4-12C you drove the other week. It is brilliant, undeniably, but somehow it's just not exciting enough.
No, he's right, actually, because I've driven this as well, and it isn't boring, is it? But it somehow lacks that sort of Lamborghini theatre.
Yeah.
You know, they've made it's too refined and it's sort of too clever.
It's as though Lamborghini are trying to be Ferrari instead of making cars specifically for...
Lunatics, Rod Stewart, fish, tadpoles. What?
People who like a laugh. A big Lamborghini should be an instrument of terror, and this somehow just isn't.
Well, now let's examine the scale of their failure by seeing how fast it goes around our track. That, of course, means handing it over to our tame racing driver. Some say that his favourite T-shirt has a picture on the front of a T-shirt. And that he's spent all week waiting for a big check from the Germans because he, too, has spent the last 2,000 years sitting on his backside doing absolutely nothing at all. All we know is he's called a Stig! And he's off. Ooh, I love that pop as it shifts up. Single rather than double clutch system. Changes are still lightning fast as he spears into the first corner. Bit of a wobble under braking, shows how much speed he's already carrying. Ooh, he's got it all together for the exit. Stig listening to Petula Quark in French, very unusual. Clean through Chicago, coming up now to Hammerhead. Despite the carbon fibre construction, this is still a big, heavy car. Will it get out of shape? No, not a bit of it. None of the traditional Lambo flamboyance there. Now, follow through. The spoiler fully extends at 80 miles an hour. He's doing a lot more than that now. Pass through the tyres, just 2 corners left. Here he comes now, hard on the ceramic brakes. An old V12 Lambo would have bitten him in the face by now. Through Gambon and across the line. Now, if we look here, this is the old Lamborghini, the Murcielago. The LP670 did it in 1:19. Here's the Aventador. 1:16.5. That's interesting, isn't it? So it looks absolutely fantastic, and it's fast around our track than a Bugatti Veyron Supersport. And I think it's clear now why Hammond and May hate it so much.